For me, when the age change came, I was kind of like, everyone was like super excited. They're like, oh, I'm going on a mission. And I still had at least about 2 years, year and a half before I could go. And so I was like, that's exciting for you, but I never really wanted to go on a mission. That hasn't really changed. Super great for people who want to serve. You know, that was kind of my stance on it. And then one of my really good friends went on his mission. I remember like the day he went in, I like, just like as he was getting ready to go and like talking to him about going on a mission, I was like, that's actually really cool. Just the idea of being able to kind of stop what you're doing in your life and be able to like serve God and find out like kind of a bigger purpose in life a little bit, and kind of also like figure out like what you want to do with your life when you get back. And so that was kind of where I was at, still not really wanting to go though. And then there was this night where I was like reading my scriptures, and I just had this really like clear impression to be like, to go read my patriarchal blessing, and it had a line in there where it was like, you have the responsibility to preach the restored gospel. And I was like, how did I miss that was in there? Because I had never seen it before. And it was really cool because I was like, I'm supposed to serve a mission. And so I went upstairs and I told my dad, and I was like, look at this. It's like it says that I'm supposed to invite others to come into Christ. And I was like, I didn't ever notice this before. I think I'm supposed to go on a mission. And my dad was like, yeah, I think you're right. And so then that next Sunday I went and I talked to my bishop. I'm like, I think I'm supposed to go on a mission. He's like, okay. And so a lot of times like when people ask me like, oh, why did you go on a mission? Why are you here? It's like obedience, sheer obedience. God told me I was supposed to go on a mission, and so here I am. And that was really the full sum of why I went. And then progressively as I was on my mission, why I stayed changed. But ultimately the obedience was a huge thing for me, that it was like I told God I was going to come because he asked me to. And that was really important to finish what I started. It was pretty funny. As I was opening it, it felt, that whole just opening my call felt super surreal. Even still, like that memory is just like really, it doesn't feel real. And I just remember I opened it and I'm like reading through it. It's like, you've been called to serve in and I kind of stopped and I was like, Kansas, and somewhere with a W that I can't say. And so I was like, well, my family's expecting me to say something. So I sputtered out Wichita, but it was not Wichita. It was more like Winnichita or something. I don't even know what I said. And my family's like, Wichita? And I was like, yeah, there. And it probably took me a good week before I could actually say Wichita. And it got to mission, found out that a lot of other people had the same problem, that they just had never heard the word Wichita before and couldn't say it right, which is kind of funny. Getting ready though, like, that was right at the beginning of the semester. I was doing a semester at BYU. And so that was at the beginning of the semester, so I had all semester to kind of prepare and get ready. And then I left at the end of January. And it was just, like, it was so surreal. Just, it didn't really feel real. Even, like, going into the MTC, it was like, is this really happening? Like, am I actually old enough to be on a mission, to be wearing a name tag? It was super strange to me to be experiencing that. But it was really hard. It was a lot harder than I was expecting it to be, to like walk away from my parents and to walk into the doors. And I remember walking into the MTC feeling like I'd signed myself over to prison slightly. And a lot of people talk about how it's like they went into MTC and they were just super joyful and excited. And I was excited, but there was a very strong feeling of, what have I done? I'm walking away from my family, and I'm not going to see him for a year and a half. And it was just like, I couldn't even quite process that. But it was definitely something that was needed for me. And it was a huge growing experience. And later on, I have much better feelings about the MTC. But while I was there, it was not my favorite place to be. Something that was really kind of, I guess, cool for me is that I actually had a second cousin that was also going to the Kansas Wichita mission. And he went into the MTC on the same day. And we weren't in the same district, but we were in the same zone. And it was really weird because his district had 6 in it, and they were all elders, and our district was all sisters, and we studied in rooms right next to each other. And since we all went in on the same day, and some of our group and some of their group was going to Wichita, we kind of acted like a single district. Like, we always ate like lunch together and stuff. So that was something that was really strengthening to me in the MTC and even later on in my mission was having a second cousin that I didn't really know before the mission, but we became really good friends during the mission. Just having that support and knowing that like there was, even though it's like I left my family, like there was still a little bit of a connection to family, which was really special for me.